Hey, what's going on, everyone? Lokiorn here, and we are at the Altar of Hope after our successful resentment run. I've been kind of struggling with where to spend some of these candles, but let's figure out what I do together. So, first of all, 135 candles to spend. That's a pretty big haul. So we have a lot of things that we can put candles into, and I think the first place we start, if we put in 30 candles into resourcefulness, we get free item on in or free random item when we get to an inn, more scouting, and the big one, reduced stagecoach repair costs. That's pretty nice. There's a consideration about going the rest of the way here, but we'll come back to that. Next up, 20 candles into Journey gets us an extra inventory slot and more candles down the line. That seems pretty good. Another 20 does get us the last stagecoach item. I think for the moment we're probably going to hold off companionship, so maybe we just start there. We've got 85 left. Working fields is always a good option, but I think the next place we want to invest really is into our characters. We're heading into Obsession, so we probably need to set ourselves up for success here. And let me tell you right now, Vanguard, big deal. And 35 candles actually gets us to resolution for an extra 5% death blow resistance. And we're just going to do that. We're really going to double down on the man-at-arms here. We're not going all the way to improvised strategy because improvised strategies isn't a thing I care about. Along with that, 8 candles actually buys us 2 very important upgrades. We get the early experiment, which is the blight-centric item for the Plague Doctor, and Alchemist, which is the blight-dealing path. And actually, 3 extra gets us another 5% death blow resistance. That seems pretty decent. So now we've got 39 candles left, and we're feeling pretty good about the Plague Doctor. So 39 candles left to spend, and there's a lot of places we could put it. Thinking about where we're going to Obsession. So, Runaway, Jester, Leper, and Occultist, all of these I think are just going to ride the bench for a bit. I don't, like, the Runaway takes a few hero shrines to turn online. The Jester's fine off the cuff, or off the rip, but I don't really see a place for him. The Leper just isn't going to feel as good as the Hellion and Man-at-Arms, I think, right now. And Occultist is kind of the same story. He's really missing a lot of the stuff in his kit you care about. Bounty Hunter, we're just never gonna put candles in. I don't feel like it makes sense to invest into him early because he's gonna cost candles to use, and you're gonna get to use him maybe once. So it's 5 candles to basically give 4 candles to this guy repeatedly. Vestal and Flagellant, though, are both pretty interesting. I think the Vestal continues to ride the bench because the Plague Doctor is so good, but Flagellant, I want to make Flagellant work here, and with 39 candles, we can get the Scourge path, which is his best one. But when I think about this, we would need to do several hero shrines just to unlock some of the skills that are relevant here. And I think that's what's ultimately kind of driving this is we need shrines to unlock the characters, and it costs us to unlock the characters. So why not just stick with the characters that we already have? But until we unlock them, we're never going to get those shrines. So I'm waffling back and forth here, but I think ultimately, the answer is going to be Rotten Tomato for 3 gives us something kind of cute. Lets the Hellion just sit in rank 2 for 5 ever. 12 candles here is a consideration, but I think given that we actually have some unlocks we can get here, 39 candles gets us free mineral rich spring water and free combat items for 26. That feels pretty good. Or we could get that stagecoach item slot. We can't get both, unfortunately. Stagecoach items can be big, but they're not 3. We have 3 already, and the 4th is the 4th going to matter because we don't have most of them unlocked? No. I think this, though, we will see Oases, and that's an extra healing item. That's pretty good. So 13 there, and then maybe we bomb some trinkets and combat items? Or in items? Yeah, I think that's what we do. All right, cool. Let's bomb some in items first. Knotted rope is good. We'll do 3 in items. We'll see what we win here. Whiskey barrel, that's not awful. Apples and cheese is a nice pickup. Then we'll go trinkets here because we kind of need to find a noxious item. Distracting dust. Stone mount is definitely good with the man-at-arms. Bulwark band. And we'll hit some combat items. Toxic ichor, there's a noxious item. That's what we were looking for. So we have a way to turn on the experiment early. Stimulants is not a bad pickup. One more. Thunderclap grenade. Disappointing, but we'll make that work. All right. We'll see in a moment when I go and select our party and get going. We are compelled to take obsession, so see you in a moment. All right, let's get back into it. What's up, everyone? This is Lokiorn, and we're back with the Fresh Start series, picking up run number 5. So last run, we took down the Seething Sigh and got to spend some candles, and now we are back at it, going after Obsession. So Obsession has been reworked quite substantially, and we're still only dealing with a fraction of the full roster because our goal is progress as much as possible, not unlock all the characters. So we need to decide what we're going to do here. Now, I do think Obsession is kind of the big check for much of our for much of the game. Like both ambition and cowardice kind of feel easier than
indiscriminate science.
Brain, come on. They both feel easier than Obsession does. This actually is very good against the Suppress. Yeah, we'll take out the Alchemist. Gonna stick with our Sharp Shot Highwayman. Vanguard Barristan. And then the choice is, do we want to bring the Grave Robber back out or bring out the Hellion? Could do something like this, run this back. Yeah. Okay, this kind of vibes with me. All right, so let's meet our team real quick. So we've got Plague Doctor Paracelsus as the Alchemist. Quirks are Gaunt Hater and Thanatophobic, which thankfully shouldn't come up very much because you really shouldn't be losing that many characters. We won't be using Incision. Blinding Gas can probably go. Put on Indiscriminate Science, and that'll probably stand us in good stead. Is there a world where we even get to use Cause of Death? Probably not, so maybe we do leave Blinding Gas in. Call that good. Sharp Shot Highwayman, I maintain there just isn't really... Like, we do need to unlock Double Tap, but Sharp Shot Highwayman is just so disgustingly good. It just hits all of the buttons in all the right places. We'll be popping in Highway Robbery, and Dismas is a natural swing. That's unfortunate. Does that change our approach? We could put him into the front rank, but then we'd be definitely taking the Grave Robber instead. Stiff Knees. Stiff Knees is getting countered by Sharp Shot. Yeah. That's an unfortunate trait to roll on Dismas, but I don't know that it's enough. It's not going to compete with how much value Sharp Shot's going to bring, I think. So we pop that out, put that in, probably leave Defender in. We did unlock Vanguard, so we now have basically the best Man-at-Arms. This is brutal Man-at-Arms. Torn Rotator Cuff isn't great. We'll have to get rid of that, but golly, this is... Vanguard Man-at-Arms is still just absolutely insane. There's no downside. And then Ravager Hellion, we still haven't unlocked any of her skills because she doesn't really need them. But we'll probably work on trying to get some of Boudica's skills unlocked. But let's get into it and get the show on the road here. So heading into Obsession, I don't remember how much I talked about Denial and the Seething Sigh. But the thing about those fights is they're fairly simple, I guess is the way to put it. You know, Denial's asking one question. Can you deal with stuns? And all you really need to do is stack Clarifying Poultice, and basically any team can handle it as long as, you know, you make sure that everybody can do something each turn. The Seething Sigh asks a different question, which is, can you hit the back rank and the front rank consistently, which, you know, most teams can do if you build them that way. So with those two done, now we get to Obsession, where you start getting into some pretty intense, like the game starts taking a difficulty spike, because now you're definitely seeing the Exemplar. You're having to fight I believe you fight 2 cult battles before the final boss, and you're dealing with a boss that, you know, frankly is still kind of gross. Unfortunately, we can't just hype up our Man-at-Arms on as much speed as humanly possible and then just let him carry the day. But we still want to have the ability to, as much as possible, put all of the markers we can onto one character, preferably the Man-at-Arms, who's just kind of the best at that. He's just so naturally tanky. He produces so many block tokens that he can kind of just sit there and eat a lot of incoming damage. So we're definitely looking for a power spike here, but what I look for in the team here, we need a consistent and reliable source of healing, which we have in Paracelsus. And Boudica and Barristan can both heal themselves in certain circumstances. And then we really need at least one person who can really tank and try to absorb as many of the eye tokens as possible and make sure that we're not going to get obliterated. By the way, this is on the latest patch. We are taking... this is going to be my first look at the newest patch with the Grim Chirurgeon and everything. So very excited to see that. I'm definitely going to be aiming to see him, if at all possible. Speaking of... I mean, we don't really have any need for the Shroud. In the Field Hospital, we don't need yet. We'll have a chance at that later. A lot of resistance encounters. Avoid the Watchtower. Yeah, we'll go to the Tangle. We're not really great against the Dreaming General, but we're also not awful. Paracelsus can reach. Barristan can reach I think it's every other turn. Yeah, Dismas obviously can reach continuously, and so can Boudica with Iron Swan. So we do have some potential here. And you can see we have a lot of unlocks. So we might go after the Dreaming General. Though it might end up being a game time decision of do we have what, you know, the material we think we need to get it done. So let's go ahead and pop some of this stuff in. Cleansing Clasp. Put that on Dismas. Bulwark Band is okay. Distracting Dust is okay. Not my favorites, but, you know, they'll have to be good enough. Planning and mindfulness. Get our Wolf Cub in. Again, continues to just be extremely high value for the relative amount of candles we spent to get there. And let's get the rest of our wagon equipped. Ooh, this is a choice right here. I wish I could have both of these. These are two of the, like, in my opinion at least, best Stagecoach items. 20% traveling heal we can probably live without. Griddle Cake just means we never have to think about food for the rest of the run. And that's pretty dang appealing. So we'll go ahead and pop our Griddle in. We're heading to the Tangle. Mastery points. Is the greatest teacher of all. Probably take aim and bolster. Yeah, I think it's just take aim, bolster, kind of the two standard skills, because nothing else really gets us there quick enough, and we only have 2, so we have to be a little conservative. To set ourselves up for the Dreaming General, we definitely buy extra food. Do we need more stims? Do we need any of this? Whiskey flask, maybe? I mean, none of our relationships are that close, so whiskey flask doesn't really move the needle. Yeah. Well, this might. Barristan Boudica. Okay. Gets us straight to 12, which I think is the break point. No, it's 2 off the break point. All right. Well, that makes that a little easier. Get a nice early relationship here. Toxic Ichor and Thunderclap Grenade are probably just going to go. We'll keep the Thunderclap Grenade now just because there's that chance of stun is not 0. Oof. That was pretty negative in a lot of places. Sunny Disposition is a nice pickup, though, and that did push them up to 17, so we had some pretty good... I think we'll just save the Knotted Rope, given that nobody can use it right now. All right. Alrighty, yeah, and I think we're set up for success here. We're gonna take a bit of a risk going after the Dreaming General so early, but I do think it's probably worth it. Nothing else here really moves the needle other than maybe the Radiant Flame, but we want those Candles of Hope. All right, cool. Well, thank you all for watching. Tune in next time as we dive into our fresh start here, run number 5, going after Obsession. Till then, see ya.